Welcome back to Michigan Storm Chasers YouTube channel. We cover all things weather 24/7, 365, rain or shine. We are here keeping you guys posted on what's coming ahead. We have a lot to talk about today in terms of our weather. We have snow potential, wind potential, both warm and cold in the forecast. Before I get started though, I want to start the video with a shout out to today's spotlight sponsor. We're going with Lifestyle Exteriors. Lifestyle is a company based out of the Lansing area. They cover a corridor of central Michigan from about Lansing to Traverse City. They do window, gutter, siding, and roofing needs, as well as other exterior features for your homes. Feel free to give them a call. Numbers above me. It is 989-854-3055. Thank you to Lifestyle for helping keep operations rolling here at Michigan Storm Chasers, and they are the spotlight sponsor for today. Now to the forecast. We have, starting with today's rain and snow potential, nothing to be concerned about today. Could see some lighter rain showers, maybe moderate at times, as well as snow showers, snow in the UP, rain in the LP throughout the afternoon and evening today. That will be moving out by the time we get to around the evening 10 o'clock tonight time frame. And then we turn attention to the west, where snow could move into the UP right around, we're going to say 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is going to be a little bit more of a tricky forecast here because there's a lot of dry air to start up here in the UP. So the snow that is on radar here may not actually be falling and hitting the ground. We do expect snow to begin roughly first in the UP over toward the Munising Grand Marais area, this type of corridor over here. That's going to start first as the atmosphere saturates itself. That will continue to move through the area overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. By the time we get into that late morning hours, we have the snow moving out of the state, but some other snow showers, perhaps some lake effect kicking up behind it for the afternoon on Friday. When all is said and done, we have a couple forecasts to share with you guys, starting with the modeled snowfall here. Through today, not much to talk about, maybe a couple dusting areas of dustings here across Michigan. But generally speaking, we are seeing the overall accumulation pick up overnight, late overnight, like 4, 5, 6 a.m. and onward for portions of the state, UP, should I say. By the time we get into the afternoon and evening on Friday, we have a couple areas of accumulation that's roughly around a foot of snow, perhaps, especially further east here toward Grand Marais, Munising, maybe Sault Ste. Marie as well. Over here toward Marquette, another area of heavier accumulation as well. Putting the forecast together, we have a couple things to talk about. Number one, our forecast here, 5 to 9 for places like Copper Harbor, for Paradise, Grand Marais, maybe Sault Ste. Marie and Mackinac. But generally speaking, it's going to split those two areas. A good corridor of 5 to 9 inches of snow is expected. Further west and also just to the south, 3 to 6 there from Marquette, Shingleton, down to Sheboygan and Alpena. Even further south, 2 to 4 from Covington over toward the Gaylord area. And then even further south in the 1 to 3 zone, Oscoda, Mayo, Grayling, Escanaba, and Channing areas. Further south, trace to 1, and then just general snow showers is the expectation for you guys from Friday into, or from really today into the Saturday time period. So that is your snowfall forecast. Going into the wind forecast, we have some pretty gusty winds on tap for our Friday, starting with the window meter. We're going to crank out the window meter here, level 4 out of 5. Could send your loose objects and your trash cans down the roads in your neighbors' yards, making you go on a scavenger hunt trying to find them. So do take note. Tomorrow is a good day to secure loose objects in your yard. But how gusty are we going to be looking at and exactly where? So model on the screen here is forecasted wind gusts. The numbers on your screen correlate to the miles per hour. We're going to see today 25 or so at most across the state. Not concerned about today at all. We go into Friday though. There's going to be a gap overnight here. System moves in for Friday, and here comes your heavier wind. By the time sunrise hits tomorrow, we're going to see wind gusts start to pick up. This is at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're seeing the heavier gusts centered around the Traverse City, Manistee areas up in northwest lower Michigan. That will overspread the lower peninsula right around that 10, 11 o'clock time frame. By the time noon rolls around, we are seeing widespread gusts around 40 to 50 miles per hour across much of the state. So do take note of that. We are seeing a couple signs we could get some stronger gusts in the central, south central Michigan zone here across we're going to say like Grand Rapids, Mount Pleasant, Lansing areas, as that moves a little bit of a rain shower type of line through the state. Going back here to the forecasted model of radar, see that little squall? We're going to call it a squall. The squall here across central Michigan, that is why we're seeing higher wind gusts. That may potentially mix some higher gusts, 50, 55 miles per hour to the ground, a possibility during the mid-afternoon time frame, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, as that pushes across south central Michigan. Our wind map for tomorrow, heaviest gusts centered around the late morning time frame. We're going to go 8 a.m. just to be safe, but we'll pick up closer we get to noon. It'll end by the time we get toward the sunset time period, but the later we get into the evening, the less the wind becomes a concern. But generally speaking, the purple areas in the UP and northern lower, 30 to 40 miles per hour. We're going to see up in the UP, eastern part of the UP, 20 to 30. Then further south in pink zones, 40 to 50 for a good chunk of our population here in Michigan. And then in the red zone there, we're going to go chance of a higher gust possible. 50 miles per hour, generally speaking, is going to be expected, but could see up to 55, maybe close to 60 if all goes well or all goes right. Everything has to fall in place for that to happen, but generally speaking, should be right around 50 at most, with just very few gusts reaching above 50 as a possibility. Again, time frame for that, late morning tomorrow on Friday into the early to mid-afternoon time period before it ends around that sunset time period. That is your wind forecast. Now, in terms of the alerts that are out there, we do have some winter storm watches in effect for Alger, Luce, Schoolcraft, Mackinac, and Chippewa counties, as well as Emmett, Sheboygan, and Presque Isle. So those are your winter storm watches in effect. Could see snowfall of 6 inches or more in a shorter period of time. That's why we have that winter storm watch in effect. Now, going into the overall future of our weather here in Michigan, we remain to be pretty warm compared to average. Not like warm, not talking like 60s or so, but I am seeing mid 40s continuing throughout the next several days here based out of the Lansing area. So what we're going to keep an eye on here is how warm we can get. We are watching that March 4th, March 5th time frame very closely. We could get close to 50 or 60 again as a very potent very potent system moves through the Ohio Valley region. Depending on the exact track of that system, we could get a little bit warmer in the way of our temperatures, but generally speaking, a nice warm pattern continues here for the next week, 7 days or so of temperatures. So with that being said, that is your forecast today. Before I end it, we have some other sponsors to shout out today. We have Katz Roofing and Siding. We also have Pro Powder, based out of the South Haven area. We also have Storm Guard, based out of the Detroit Metro, Oakland, Macomb County areas. Thank you to these guys for sponsoring the video, as well as sponsoring our operations here at Michigan Storm Chasers. And as always, check out our spotlight sponsor, Lifestyle Exteriors, as we shout out in the beginning of the video. With that being said, I will catch you guys tomorrow for another update video here at YouTube. We'll see you guys later.